Kathy McBroom, Robert McBroom, or Milo Anderson. Any speakers?
I'm here.
Any requirement? Yes? Are you Milo?
I am.
Oh, okay. You're up. If you would, the First Amendment and the Brown Act guarantee a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee in the performance of his or her duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than on private or unrelated matters. You have up to 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Board of Trustees members. Thank you for allowing me this moment to address you today. This is my first time officially addressing this board, so if I stutter or if I accidentally say something the wrong way, please forgive me. My name is Milo Anderson. I am a student from Los Angeles Pierce College. I'm here today because I would like to humbly offer a student perspective on the board rule changes proposed in DT4 before you in this meeting. But before I get into that, I would like to thank each of you, especially Board Member Mona Field and Board Member Steve Vera on your last meeting. Your commitment to the students of the Los Angeles Community College District for your public service on this board is highly commendable. Thank you very much. As a student, I'm extremely grateful and gratified by the hard work and long hours each of you put into ensuring the best possible education for each student here in our district. Each of you has my sincere, heartfelt appreciation and admiration. I understand that in this meeting, you will be voting to make some important changes to the board rules. The changes I wish to talk to you about specifically, again, are the items proposed in DT4. Overall, I feel that DT4 makes some important fixes in the board rules regarding communications to the board, and frankly, what I'm doing right now by addressing you. And I strongly support improving the board rules to allow for a more constructive and clear discourse towards protecting and improving the educational experience of all the students throughout the district. Specifically, I do like the change to the wording in Article D of these rules. I think the new language in this section makes for a more open and welcoming approach to encouraging the public to utilize this right to speak in a constructive and uplifting manner on the issues currently relevant to our district. I applaud and welcome such a change to these rules. Also, I think the minor grammatical fixes in Article F on these rule changes is another welcome and beneficial change. I applaud that as well. I believe they make these rules more clear and understandable. And I do completely understand and appreciate a desire some of you may have to reduce the amount of time each member of the public can have to address you. If I were you, I would certainly welcome such a change myself. Such a change will help free up your valuable time and may allow you to better focus on the issues you have before you in each meeting. I know that these meetings can become long and tedious, and with all the other meetings you have to attend on these board meeting days, you're often here till late at night, deliberating on how to protect and enhance our educational system. This steals your valuable time away from your families and personal lives, and I do fully support looking into ways that minimize this unfortunate side effect. However, I personally feel that this specific change, reducing public speaker time from 5 minutes down to 3 minutes, might have an unfortunate side effect of sending the wrong message to the students and to your constituents such as myself. I could be wrong, and I often am, but I think that this specific board rule change unintentionally sends the message that you'd rather minimize the opportunity to hear from your constituents about their concerns about the district, and that perhaps you may not so highly value their input on the valuable work that you're doing on behalf of them as elected officials. I know in my heart that this cannot be truly how you feel. I believe, as I'm sure you do as well, that this opportunity for members of the public to address you, as I am now, is a valuable and beneficial part of the democratic system we enjoy. Public comment is not just an opportunity for students and constituents to say their piece, but truly an opportunity for you to hear different perspectives about the valuable work that you are doing for our college district. While shaving 2 minutes off of each speaker's allotted time may certainly save a few minutes, a constituent or a student might just have an important fact or a valuable insight to share with you that might be lost in this time reduction. So while overall I support most of the changes proposed in DT4, as an admiring student, I humbly suggest you consider amending DT4 to remove the proposed reduction in individual comment speaker time, maintaining the current 5-minute allotted time before you vote to make these important changes to the board rules. Finally, I wish to thank you once again for all of your hard work, your valuable time, and for allowing me this moment to share my thoughts with you today. I sincerely hope that you do not have to be here too late and that you get to enjoy some personal time with your families tonight. So I yield the rest of my allotted time. Thank you again.
Next speaker is Kathy McBroom, followed by Robert McBroom. Each of you will be up to 5 minutes. Item BT4. Chancellor, would you explain item BT4?
This is amendment again to the current board rule, chapter 2, article 5, communications to the board. We're asking the board to consider an amendment 2501.10. And we were asked to explore this, and some of it is cleanup language, technical cleanup, which we look at the language again. But we were asked to look at what the standard protocols are, practices throughout other community college boards, and to standardize or the number of minutes and consider if we were out of line, in line, support and whatnot. And we found that through our survey that the standard is about 3 or so minutes. With the proviso that the board could waive that at any point with the majority of board members present approving that. So if you found it fitting and suitable to listen to a particular topic and wanted to waive the minute rule, you would practically do so. So this just simply falls in line. It's a little bit of cleanup. Standardizing it with other community college districts. It's not intended to curtail discussion or to prohibit discourse or dialogue, but it is intended to provide some level of efficiency for the board work, if you will. And again, the proviso being knowing that you can always waive that if you found it suitable.
This item comes forward with a recommendation to you. Is there a motion to approve the item?
Move approval.
Moved by Trustee Moreno. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Veras. Roll call, please.
No.
Discussion? Okay, sorry. I apologize. Hold on. I apologize. I'm sorry. The chancellor spoke and I forgot to call on folks. I apologize.
Thank you. Okay,
Trustee Perlman, would you like to speak to this? And then
Yes. I would like to speak to it, and I also have a question. In terms of my speaking to it, as people who have been here for the last few months, and we've changed from 5 to 3 minutes, I oppose that. I've been a community activist for 45 years of my life. I've attended public hearings. People make a definite effort to get to meet their elected officials, speak to their elected officials, and I feel it is not respectful, not appropriate for us not to do our job as an elected official to hear them and give them at least 5 minutes. Hopefully they won't take it. We all want to get home. I want to get home. Hopefully they won't have to fill that 5 minutes, but they should have the right to do so, and we should give them that opportunity. That's my feeling why I oppose the 5 to 3 minute change. Second of all, I want to ask our council, how do I vote no on B and I and yes on D and F?
You have to make an amended motion or move to vote on the item with certain amendments, and then that would have to be seconded.
I would then like to move that amendment.
Could you hold that until after everybody's spoken, please,
course.
and then I'll call you. Thank you. Trustee Ing?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me ask a question, not necessarily related to the timing, but when individuals come before here and speak in public, what happens to their concerns? I know that we can't, because of the limitations, we can't respond directly, and I know that either on occasion or on a regular basis, the chancellor's been directed to follow up. What happens to the follow-up? Is it tracked? And I don't believe I've ever gotten a memo on that. Maybe it's gone out and I missed it.
I'll ask Dr. Barrett to respond, but in general, we do track and we do follow up, and as most of the issues deal with operational issues of the district, those are things that are normally handled by staff. But let me ask Dr. Barrett.
That's correct, Mr. Lee. Often when you direct the chancellor to look into a matter or to respond to a particular issue, he assigns that to the appropriate staff member, be it a college president or one of the executive or senior staff members. We respond, and it's usually in writing, and there is a record kept in my office of the response.
Is the response given to the person that testified?
Yes,
Okay.
that's basically what we do.
All right. You know, for me, is the response given to the trustees as well? I know that when we raise the issues,
When you raise-
we are given the response, but I don't recall having seen. So let me tell you where I'm going with it. You know, I don't oppose the 5-minute rule being modified to 3 minutes. I've had to speak and get my point across in 2 minutes and also in 3 minutes. I really think the issue is the response. Because I think that people, when they come before us, can submit letters. They can contact us before a meeting, after a meeting. We have email, we have faxes. And so I am going to vote for this, but I would like to either work toward, if it's not a consensus, Mr. Chair, but I'd like to work toward a policy where the trustees are notified immediately after each meeting that there will be a response to that person. I do believe that this is a sacred public time. It is really difficult to get downtown, even for me, and I work down here, and parking is horrible. And when we have people who travel great distances and they can only speak for a very limited time, I am concerned that we do give them an appropriate response. And many times the response perhaps may not be what they want to hear. I don't even have the luxury of hearing what I want to hear. But I do believe that that goes hand in hand to the issue of a certain amount of due process. So I'm going to support that, but based on the fact that I wouldn't have to do it as a board rule necessarily, but I know that as we get into appropriate tracking and monitoring of issues, that I would like to see that up there front and center. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Trustee. I think that speaks to an issue that Trustee Perlman has raised on a number of occasions. It, I think, speaks also to an added issue for our board planning and the interest that this current board has in making sure that we are completely responsive and closing the loops, and that the board's kept informed and that the public is responded to. While it's probably happening, you're correct, we don't see that, and it's important that we know that the loops got closed, that people have gotten the best answer we could provide. And so I appreciate that. So I'll ask the Chancellor to note that for our planning sessions with the board as we go forward, and hopefully you both will do that. There's another comment to my right, Trustee Barras, and then I'll come back to you.
A couple things. You know, I am supportive of the changes here. I do want to state that I think some of the change. I think I appreciate that we're going to standard across the board. Everybody can. You know, I came from a government structure where there was 3 minutes. And believe me, you can state your piece in 3 minutes pretty succinctly, and still have 100 people give a public comment. It does happen. You know, generally speaking, the procedures are important for abuses of the system and the time. You know, luckily this board in the past 4 years, we haven't had too many incidences where people come and abuse the role of public speaking. And by abuse, I mean a couple of things. One, that sometimes it's just an act to be on display. And it's not necessarily serving a particular purpose. I mean, we see it often, kind of like I just tune into Los Angeles or LACCD, and you watch their cameras really far away. It's an opportunity to get on TV, which is sometimes ridiculous. I mean, I watched with the Planet costumes come up. I watched, you know, just the bordering edge of what free speech is. It's almost tempting to say that you're crossing the line and have to have the physical presence there available. Now, item F, we talk about because I believe profanity, obscenity, other offensive type of language makes the experience horrible for everybody. not necessarily just the board of trustees, maybe public officials, we take abuse in plenty of ways, in different ways. But anybody else in the audience, other students, people coming here with, maybe young families, we don't have in our procedures how to immediately respond, because the city attorney is not necessarily in the room, nor is the district attorney. I think there should be some part, and maybe the modification could be added afterwards, but some part that deals with potentially sheriffs or a sergeant of arms scenario to essentially protect the public interest in the room, not just the trustees, but the public interest in the room, because oftentimes you may see people on opposite sides of an issue in each other's faces, and I think we need to fine-tune the procedure and get appropriate people that may need to restrain or to move things along. So if an F, or if other examples of bad behavior or poor behavior or behavior that's not conducive to the public's best interest, we can have an immediate reaction, not just a long-term issue that deals with district attorney. And the final point I'll make is I do think 3 minutes. I've obviously had 8 years worth of experience with 3 minutes was sufficient to get a point across. But there were times when I sat on a previous council where we facilitated time for people who, just the finishing comments or just the sort of flexibility. And I think so long as it states it clear that the board has that ability, that's something to get across. I know we oftentimes dealt with, for example, translation and translated public comments, sometimes needing extended periods to be able to facilitate, especially long. So in that sense, I think there's a few instances, and we can, I don't know, it's not really our way to provide examples of how we extend the time a bit, but we should definitely keep in mind when oftentimes, whether it's a translation issue or it's I always feel like the first time I ever had a public comment was you get those butterflies. It's a very nervous experience, and so sometimes people have a tough time getting it out. I don't want to have them feel like they're on the clock and the buzz. I want to be able to get them a chance to state their piece and be able to communicate in those ways. But I think these rules are really to generally allow the public to feel comfortable and deal with the vanity, obscenity, the stuff that's not conducive to the public trust.
Thank you, Trustee. I want to just share with you that one of the things that has been very difficult, and at the beginning of my service 4 years ago, it was very hard. It's a practice of this board to often reduce the time. And what I think this allows is some government agencies, school districts, community colleges have 2 minutes, some have 3. We're an outlier based on what the chancellor said, what I've seen. We can, as Trustee Veras said, under item B, we can allow for increased time as a board. It's a vote of the board to increase time. But it is really unfortunate when because of the practice of the board, when we have dozens of people coming here, that we reduce it. And so hopefully this will limit the times we ever have to, in front of people who've come down here, change the time. And so by publishing it, putting it on the agenda, being clear. And the other thing that I'll note for the folks in the audience is many people don't ever use their full 3 minutes. A lot of the folks don't use it. And so and this way we'll have a standard that matches other entities. The board at its discretion during the discussion, and the chair, the board president, and the chair of the meeting, or the board president, whoever's doing it, can always allow people to finish. People that are, you have an interpreter, if you have somebody signing or speaks another language, we should accommodate those things, and this rule allows that. So with that,
I'm
yes.
sorry, I do have to point out the kind of initial order. The board has agreed to follow Robert's rule, and so there is a pending amendment
Right.
to the main motion.
I got that.
So that amendment has to be.
Well, there's got to be a motion, and there's got to be,
That's right.
well, there's got to be a motion, there's got to be a second. I was finishing the comment period, and I was going to recognize her.
I have another comment.
Okay, you can comment, and then I'll take your motion.
Thank you. My other comment apropos of what has been said, and I'm sorry that this board rule does not incorporate a concern that I've had for a long time, and if we don't do perhaps a future board rule, because I doubt if the trustees want to amend what I'm going to say at this point, that when the agenda is being set up and we know public speakers in advance, I would very much like to have it on the agenda so that if we so choose to discuss that issue with the public present, we have the right to do it. We don't have to, but right now we don't even have the option for us to discuss an issue of concern for the board. And I would like to be sure that it's on the agenda when we know certain topics are going to be brought up, so that trustees can address that issue and discuss it if we so choose to.
Okay. Hold on a second.
I was going to ask General Counsel to respond, but my sense is that because our agenda items must be posted and notified, the public must be noticed to bring on an item for discussion that's not been appropriately noticed as a public, correct?
Yes, so we have to give the public notice that the issue is going to be discussed. So if there are changes during the course of the meeting, we can make those changes. We can still vote on an amended motion. We've given the public notice that the matter will be considered.
So did you, Trustee Perlman, I'm prepared to now accept the motion on, we have a motion and a second on this already, correct? Yes, we did.
We don't have a second.
We did, second. We have a motion and a second on the first motion, but I wanted to give you a chance.
I have an amendment because
Right,
I
so
want to vote.
you want to make a
I don't
motion?
know how, perhaps you could word the amendment for me. I basically want to vote no on B and I and yes on D and F.
So the motion would be amended to leave or to change the 3 minutes in paragraph B from 3 to 5, and leaving the motion as otherwise.
Is that what you wanted, Trustee Perlman?
So it'll be 5 minutes with D and F as they are.
Trustee Perlman, is that what you were?
No, I don't see how that would work to be able to vote yes and no.
She just wants to record
on
it,
this.
she wants to record a no vote
Okay.
she wants to, it sounds like, Trustee Perlman, do I understand you want to record a no vote on 2 of the changes?
I want to vote a no vote on B and I and a yes vote on F and D. And so if we leave it as 5 and then that fails, then I'm still in the same situation I am now, where it changes to 3, and we have some things of this that I want to vote yes on, and some things I want to vote no on.
Well, there's no way to vote yes on part of the motion and no on the other. It has to be one
You
vote.
can't vote separately, you can't pull and have D and F separate from B and I.
No, because it's one motion. So we can amend the whole thing, so that what we're voting on is leaving it at 5 minutes and taking the changes and B and F.
A different option.
Or you can vote no on the whole thing, but it's one or the other. Either changing the motion the way you want it to appear, or voting no on it.
Well, that's rough.
It's your call.
But it doesn't make sense, I mean, I vote for getting the English right.
It's your call. Did you want to make a motion, Trustee Perlman?
It still wouldn't solve the problem.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Dean?
Make a motion.
Trustee Dean? Aye. Trustee Peel?
Yes.
Trustee Fong? Yes. Trustee Moreno?
Yes.
Trustee Coleman?
No.
Trustee Sonkin?
Aye.
Trustee Bettis?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next item is BT5.